So after playing with this for a while, I think I got a pretty good grasp of what's going on and what needs to be done and what you shouldn't do. And well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Jeff for sharing his knowledge on this subject and how you talk to tip him and such in the commands. And also, I wanted to give a thanks to Stefan for helping me restore my configuration in my van with the features that I actually have. So you cannot copy other people's configurations unless you have an identical van. But the proper way to do it is back up your configuration and then change that. And I'll show you in this video how you go about doing that. But first I want to show you the settings that I got set up for this terminal app. So here they are. All right, now we need to dump the configuration that is in our van. Mine will be different, like I said. Yours will be most likely different as well. So first let's connect to the Elm327. In my case, I'm using Obdlink MX adapter. It's a good practice to reset whatever adapter you are using to default settings. And that is done by this macro here, or just type in the ATZ command. So I'll do that. And you just reset to default. All right, now before we can talk to the TPM, we have to set up the LM327 to use the correct addresses to send and receive. And I do that with this macro. These 4 lines, they will be the same in your case as well. So the next macro is config2. Now these 3 bytes or 4 bytes, this is what will retrieve the configuration for your van or vehicle. So let's do that. I'll do it for my van. So first we're gonna set up the adapter and make sure it says OK for all 4 lines. If it doesn't, you got a problem. You should stop now. So once the adapter is set up, I will go ahead and dump the configuration for my van. And you can see it says searching, stop. That means it didn't work. Do it one more time, and there you go. You have to get 3 lines that start with 504. That's the returning address for the TPM. If you don't get this data, again, you should stop at this point until you do. Otherwise, you can corrupt the configuration for your van. So just to give you a rundown of what the actual configuration data is in these lines, I'll show you. So what's important here, and it will be different for your van or your vehicle compared to mine, are these bytes. These 4, and then the next line from 7 bytes there, and then 3 bytes here. That's the configuration number 2, according to Stefan. Thanks again, Stefan. So you gotta write this down and save it somewhere, so you can always revert back to these settings. So now that we know our own configuration data, we can go ahead and disable the tire pressure monitoring system. So what you do is you grab the 4 bytes here, then you come over here, and on this line you can paste those 4 bytes, and then you got to add number 1. I have no idea what that number 1 is for, but you got to do it. And you can go ahead and save that. Now come over here, grab this data, copy it, go back to the macro, next line, paste, and at this time you got to put a 0. Save that, come over to the next line, you just need the 3 bytes here, copy, and get back into the macro, paste, and now you gotta add 4 bytes, 0, and you need that number 1 on this line as well. Now you're done. So at this point, if I run that macro, it basically just gonna overwrite the configuration with the same data, so you won't see any changes. But to see the changes, we have to change the bit that is used to let the vehicle know if the tire pressure monitoring system is enabled or disabled. That is done by this byte here, 2D. In your case it might be 6D or something else. And I'll show you a calculator over here. It's a programmer's calculator, and if I type in 2D, you see right here this last number 1 digit. That's what tells the vehicle if you got the TPMS system or not. And right now, since there's a 1 on the far right, that means this system is enabled. And I basically just subtract 1 equals, and that removes the 1 and changes it into a 0. And now if you look at the hex byte, it's 2C. So 2C, that means it's disabled. So let's go back to the terminal. So all I'm gonna do is get back into the macro for enabling, and I'll select all of it, copy it, and then exit out of here, go back to the macro that's empty, and I'll paste that here, and then I can change the D into a C, then save that. Alright, at this point we're ready to disable the tire pressure monitoring system. So let me run the TPM off macro. Okay, right here you see it says stop, no data. That means there's some kind of issues with delay or something like that. So sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times to get a clean transmission. Okay, that time looked good. So now I'm looking on my dash. Yep, the light just went off. And to prove that it did went off, I'm going to read the configuration, and you will see before it was 2D, now it will be 2C. There you go. You see it's 2C right here. That is how you do it. So let's enable the light again by pressing the TPM on that has the original configuration data. Okay, I see stop, no data. I'll do it again. I still see it. I'll do it again. Still see it. There you go. Now it says 2D. That's pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and disable the light. There you go. And I'll enable it again. That should be good enough. Yep. So sometimes it works on the first try. Other times it could take like 5 times. Again, I don't know why that is. I'm guessing it's something to do with the delay. I've tried changing the time from 15 milliseconds all the way to 60 and couldn't really find one that really worked well. Now another cool thing you can try is turning your wipers on. So this will be the same. It works on my van. Watch this. I'm sure you can hear it when they will come on. They're on right now. Let me do it again. So, and then if we want to go back to the generic OBD2 protocol, we can reset the adapter back to factory, and then this macro here, 0105, returns the engine temperature, or the coolant temperature, I mean. So, well, I hope this helps.